Alright, so we've covered multi-step equations pretty well. You've learned how to break them up and find out what the value of the variable is going to be. Most problems that you come across aren't always going to be just numbers and letters. You're actually going to have to do some reading and read into the words and figure out, how can I take these words, how can I take this sentence, create a problem that I know how to do really quick, and then solve that problem. So that's what we're going to look at here. What are some keywords here that are going to help you out, and some tricks. Now, some of the problem with word problems is every problem is different. Every situation a little different, because some problems might be with, we're talking about classroom problems. Sometimes we're talking about an engineering problem, problems at a factory. There's problems everywhere, and so all the situations are different. So it's about looking at the problems, what are some common threads they have, common words, and being able to pull those common words and form some sort of expression in math terms. So if we look here at this first problem, Juan's salary plus $125 is $600. We do not know what Juan's salary is, so Juan's salary is going to be the variable. It's going to be something, a letter that represents an unknown quantity. So Juan's salary, let's call it S, plus, that's our word that tells us what operation to do. 125 is a nice important word that generally represents equals. Okay, so we have 125 equals $600. This is nice because the equation's already been written for you, but we can see where they pulled each piece of that equation. Now this is not a typical word problem where you have a big word situation. We're going to get some more of those later. This is small, it's simple, and it's made so that you can see it. Okay, so these are going to be simple. As we go, they get more complicated. I'm going to go every other one so that you can do the other ones on your own. You need to practice this, because the only way to get good at it is to practice. Okay, 27, so we're going to write that number, is, there's our equals, okay, is 7 fewer students than last year. Alright, the word fewer indicates we're doing subtraction, and it's 7 fewer. Now fewer is a lot like that word less than, where we're actually going to do it at the end. So we're actually going to take 7 away from whatever we started with. Now, how many students did we have last year? Well, we don't know. So that's our variable. How many students were there last year? So let's pick a variable. Maybe we can call it y. So we're going to say 27 is 7 fewer, so subtracting 7 from how many ever students we had last year. So there's our sentence. Alright, look, let's go, the number of cats decreased by 17 is 19. So the number of cats, I have no idea how many that number of cats is, so it's our variable, C, the number of cats. It's been decreased by 17, so subtract 17, and there's our magical is word, is 19. So there's our expression, C decreased by 17 is 19. So this is pretty nice. So far we've had addition and subtraction problems, so we're going to start getting into some multiplication and division problems. So here we go. I'm going to skip 2. After dividing, there's a nice word, dividing, that's going to talk about division. So after dividing the money 5 ways, nice, we divided 5 ways, so each person got $67. So we know what's going to happen in the end. We know that each person's going to get $67. There is no is word that tells us it's equal, but we know that that's what results, so we're going to put equals. How do we know it's a result? Well, each person got. This is in past tense, so it tells us this already happened. They got $67. Alright, so what don't we know? How many people did we divide it by? Well, we divided by 5 ways. Okay, so we know we're going to divide whatever amount we had 5 ways. So we know how many people, and we know what each of them got. Now we have to figure out, what did we start with? We don't know how much we started with. So I'm picking a random letter X. It could be V, it could be M for money. I just picked X. So dividing an X amount by 5 gets us $67 per person. And that's our expression. So you see how I worked, that one I worked through, we didn't have the is word. We had to go by the context of the problem. This is in past tense, so I know that this is what we're going to have in the end. We divided it 5 ways using the division word and how many ways it was divided. The piece that I had to put together that the words don't say is how much money did I start with? And that comes with practice, being able to infer that. Okay. Next, 3, since I skipped 2 up here, I'm going to go ahead and do 2. 3 more than 8 times as many trees is 75. So there's our magical is. So I'm going to go ahead and say 75, that's is. Okay. And then 3 more than is addition. So I know there's going to be 3 more than it, whatever I'm talking about. Then 8 times is multiplication. As many trees. Well, there's something that's pretty vague. I don't know how many trees. So I know it's 3 more than 8 times. 8 times what? We don't know how many trees there were. So 8 times t. Alright, so we're going to have 3 more than 8 times how many trees. And because of order operations, I don't need parentheses. I could have written 8 times t plus 3. That would also be exactly right, spot on. So I'm going to let you do the rest of these. This video is already 6 minutes. So I'm going to stop you here and let you work on the rest of these. I'm going to do another video on more complicated word problems.